Hello, my name is Miss Cynthia Metahalza, and today we are going to be talking about weather instruments. Now, what is the term weather? Weather is the state of the atmosphere at a particular place and time as regards to cloudiness, dryness, rain, sun, and etc. And what is the term weather instruments? Weather instrument is an instrument which is used to measure the weather. Since there are various types of weather, there are various assortments of weather instruments. Some of these weather instruments are anemometer, barometer, rain gauge, wind vane, and etc. In this video, we are going to be focusing on two weather instruments. That is the wind vane and the rain gauge. We are going to be making models of a wind vane and a rain gauge. The wind vane. Now, what is a wind vane? A wind vane is also called a weather vane. It is an instrument that is used to tell the direction the wind is blowing from. It is one of the simplest weather instruments created since ancient times. The weather vane is made up of a tail and an arrow. The tail or fin catches the wind and the arrow points towards the direction the wind is blowing from. So in order to create a model of a wind vane, we will need some materials. These are the materials we will be needing. We will need some pencils, a straw, scissors, pins, letters. We also have a stencil. We could carve out the letters. We need cardboard, paste, colored cardboard for the base. Now let's get started to make the model of a wind vane. We are firstly going to carve out a circle on the cardboard to get the base for the wind vane. With the use of a compass, I will carve out two circles, paste it together for the base of the wind vane. These are the two circles I would have just cut it out. Now I'm going to, in the middle here, make a hole in order to fit this pencil vertically. Then, after fitting this pencil vertically, I'm going to paste the two circles together in order to tick in the base. I would have pasted the three cardboards together, the pink and two other one. Now I'm going to go ahead using a screwdriver to bore the middle of the circle in order to place the pencil vertically. The pencil is inside. It is formed, but I'm still going to place a little bit of paste here in order to hold it very straightly. With the use of a pencil and a ruler, I would have just drawn a triangle and a bow. This is for the arrow on the wind vane, and this is for the tail of the wind vane. I am now going to cut it out. Cut this straw and insert it at both ends. Triangle as the arrow and the bow as the tail is a straw. Now with the use of a tack, I am going to insert the straw attached to the eraser on the pencil. Here we have it. The straw was attached to the pencil. Now I am going to paste the direction onto the base of the wind vane. Here is the finished model of a wind vane. The weather vane is made up of a tail and an arrow. This is the tail and this is the arrow. The tail or the fin catches the wind and the arrow points towards the direction the wind is blowing from. If the arrow on the weather vane is pointing north, well then it means there is a north wind. In other words, the wind is blowing from north to south. Knowing the direction the wind is blowing from can be very useful for a variety of reasons, especially for farmers, pilots, and meteorologists. Meteorologists uses wind direction to get a sense of what kind of weather is coming. Generally speaking, cold air is located to the north and warmer air is located further south. What is important to note is that the wind vane had to be placed clear of ground features, which causes turbulence and disrupts natural airflow, like behind buildings and trees. In aviation, wind blows in different directions and speed at various altitudes. Significant changes are called wind shear. Wind vane only shows wind direction at surface level. If the weather vane shows wind blowing from the north, one can say cooler air is moving in. This is especially true if the wind direction recently changed to the north, usually a sign that a cold front just passed by. Pilots use another tool that works much like a weather vane, called a windsock. It tells pilots what direction the wind is blowing from so they know which runway to use for a safe flight. Weather vanes are often accompanied by another weather instrument called an anemometer. An anemometer measures the wind speed. It uses tiny cups that spin in its circle. The faster the cups spin, the stronger the wind. I am now going to conduct an experiment on our model of a wind vane. So the breeze is blowing. So here it is saying the wind is coming from east to west, so this is the eastern wind. Moving on now to the rain gauge. A rain gauge is an instrument used by meteorologists and hydraulists to gather and measure the amount of liquid precipitation over a predefined area over a period of time. It is used for determining the depth of precipitation that occurs over a unit area and thus measuring rainfall amounts. The instrument consists of a collection container which is placed in an open area. It is actually just a cylinder that catches rain. For example, if 2 inches are collected in the cylinder, then that means 2 inches of rain has fallen. In order to make a model of a rain gauge, we are going to need some materials. Materials such as box cardboard, blue, white, green, normal cardboards, paste, an empty top lid bottle, an empty drinks bottle, some cotton balls, scissors, a knife, ruler, markers, and a transparent pipe. Using a marker, we are going to outline the part where we want to cut in order to make this rain gauge out of this recycled drink bottle. Then we are going to cut it using a sharp knife. After cutting the bottle, this is what it should be looking like. You then insert the top part into the bottom part, not forgetting to take off the label. Using this strip of pink cardboard, we are going to do the measuring for the rain gauge in inches. This is our measurement ruler for the rain gauge. I am now going to paste it onto the rain gauge. After pasting the measuring ruler onto the bottle, now put it aside and let us go into the background of the rain gauge. We are going to be using cardboards. The cardboards are used to make the clouds and the background. This is the finished product of the model rain gauge. So I would have cutted the tablet bottle to make a shower Cutted out some clouds and pasted cuttings. Now we are going to test and see how well this model works. Before we start out this experiment, just make sure that this funnel is inside the cylinder and it's placed right up under the shower. Now let us go ahead and do our experiment to see how well our model of this rain gauge works. So I have some water in this bottle. I would have bored a hole on the cork and fitted the straw straight through and paste it. So now I'm going to insert the straw into the transparent pipe, squeeze, and the water is going to go directly into the rain gauge. Now we are going to stop to see how much inches of water was poured. So 1/2 inch water was poured into the cylinder. Let us recap the use of a rain gauge and a wind vane. The uses of the wind vane and rain gauge. The wind vane. It is an instrument that measures the direction from which the wind is blowing. It can be used as a decorative piece to provide weather information, to identify the intensity of storms, and also to measure the pressure and speed of winds. And the rain gauge is used to measure the precipitation rain in a given amount of time for a unit area.